afternoon, great people. ABX is in the building.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
So, a lot of things. First off, everybody's not in the building, but everybody's present, if that makes any sense. We're always together. Nutty's back.
Hey,
Hey.
Mama,
Hey.
because you weren't here last week either.
No.
Jay got the mic in hand. She's back with us. She's always here too, though. And we got Bro in the building.
Hey.
Hey.
What's
AKA
up?
What's up? The Mark Ham Show, which we're going to get to him in a minute. CC, as usual. Nephew in the booth. The boys in the back. Pounds, Bree Love. We still, man, Bree Love is missing. If y'all see him, we're going to get this picture on the back with a milk carton or something. I don't know what's going on with that.
He's lost.
With Pounds, when I see him, we're going to throw hands because I just with him last night. He came to my house earlier, picked up packages that he had sent to my house, and then don't show up. So we're going to move some furniture when I catch up with you. That's it. Into the day. We'll get to that later, too. Anywho, what's up, y'all?
What's up?
What's going on, bro? How you feeling?
I'm good, man.
Back in the building.
Back in the building.
Where you been, man?
Glad to be back.
What's been going on?
Work. Work.
You got some stuff you need to get off your chest about.
So, I think as a whole for like PG County public schools, they need a lot of fixing right now. The school system in PG County is terrible. All the violence, kids just running wild, no metal detectors, nothing.
It's funny you say that, cause we had we had a personal incident.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't call you because I was at a little town meeting at Suitland for that
The week before.
for the week before with the shooting.
Yeah. They when we got there that morning, they had already shut the school down, so they was giving the parents. Well, they were actually opening it up because the school had been shut down. But basically, two kids got into it on the school bus, and when they got off the school bus, one of the kids stabbed the other kid at Akaki, and yeah, that's a week after a kid got shot. What is it? Twice in Suitland, and then we know I think in September they had two kids they found with guns in the school at Suitland. It's not getting better, clearly, and we got to figure out one way or the other, as adults, as parents, as a community, where we going wrong and how we deal with this situation, because kids shouldn't have to worry about getting shot while in school reading a book. That makes no sense whatsoever. But again, yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead. So we'll, as we move forward, as always, we'll get a little deep into that. But I want to introduce Bro and what he does a little bit before we get into the topic, because I think he has to get out of here. So, without further ado, the Mark Cam Show. This is my real brother, little brother, Mark. And I don't want to because I want him to talk about it himself, but tell him what you do, man. You know, you've been, he's been doing this for a while, so.
You said little brother?
I said my real brother. That's what I said.
Real brother,
I said my real brother.
Little in height, that's about it.
And I say, listen, what's wrong with him?
So, yeah. Y'all know me as his brother. I have what's known as the Markham Show. We focus on, which camera am I looking at? We focus on roller skating. The Markham Show is all about roller skating, but we also branched out to focus on community. We focus on structure. We focus on building, community building, social building. We focus on generational building. As far as cultural, we stay within not so much about isolating everything that's not black, but we focus on what is black. So we just try to make the skate community not just the one thing about skating, but to build from the skate community to make it something more.
And tell us about the foundation of, one, how you started, and two, speak about the skate community because
Okay.
you know you're talking about
Yeah, so
everything else,
we've-
but that's the
we've
base.
been-
That's what you're based on.
I've been skating personally for over 40 years. So that's where all of it comes from. But the Markham show started, we're in year 10. We celebrating, we started in year 10, season 10 of the Markham show. We actually lacked a year, so we actually be in the 11th year, but we're shooting season 10 starting next year. So the Markham show is based about the skate community and where it, for so long, people heard about skating in the DMV, but they didn't see it. So 10 years ago, 11 years ago, I said I got tired of hearing the stories of my family telling me about what's going on, and used to hear the stories as well about what went down. And my mom heard the stories about, you know, she used to tell us the stories about what used to go down in the skate world, but we never saw it. So one day I just got in there and started recording, actually just to capture one moment.
So, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Posted the video, huh?
No, I was about to actually
Yeah.
brought her up into it. I was about to say she can also speak to that story there.
Yeah.
But go
Posted
ahead.
the video, and people loved it. And it's like, okay, post again. Did it for like 3 weeks in a row, 4 weeks in a row, and I stopped. And then people like, nah, you can't stop doing that because we're living vicariously through you. We haven't been skating, which started a groundswell, and people started coming back skating within a month. You know, the Markham show went from just a thought to a whole process. And within 6 months, it went from the Markham to the Markham show. And here we are 10 years later, still doing it. But it's about keeping the culture, the history and the culture connected to what, because the pandemic had a groundswell with skaters. That 2 years brought out probably another, let's say hypothetically, another 500,000 skaters globally because people were just doing their thing. But we try to cover it. And since I've been doing this, I've inspired others to do what I'm doing, and they've taken it to the moon.
Respect. So, for those of you who don't know, which most of you probably don't, my family, most of my family, all of my family skate, at least on my mother's side. Not me.
You tried it once.
I'm the athlete. Anyway, but they like really, really skate, like not casually, like they're really good at it. Pretty much, my uncles, my brothers, I think my mother skated, my sister, like all of them. So this is for him, for them in general. Like this is a family thing that also bridges into a community that's bigger than what most people realize, which I didn't understand until I kind of started to do my own research on it. And I actually had told bro, I was like, okay, yeah, no, it's a lot deeper than I understood. I think it's something you know, that's the
Yeah,
thing
it's global.
that's the thing that you should focus, you know, build yourself around, because it's just like as we talk about the go-go community, like it's its own entity within itself that it's all around the country, you know. So it's one of those strange things that you can, you know, it's a lot of things within it that go within like regular community life. You know, it's like he said, it's politicians and all different walks of life and different people and different things and different topics. People have families that grow up, like I just said, families that grow up in the skate world, with generations and generations of different things.
Skaters.
That you may not understand. And Mama, I'm sorry, I was trying to kind of hand up because you. Jay got her own mic.
I had to share my granddaughter's mic today. Yes, skating ring goes way, way back from Cameron Road. Cameron Road was the first one, then it was Virginia, then it was certain parts of Maryland. But 16th Street was the home of skating, and we had an awesome time there. Mark was talking about the Markham show.
Cam, yeah.
You talk about your show. You started your show, but did you tell us about the products that you put out after you started your show?
So, since the show, I've started an apparel line, and I've started a product line. We have, like as you see, I'm wearing something now. This is apparel. We have anything from, if I can put my brand on it, we sell it. So let me just say that, because we have everything. We have from shoes to hats to coats to cups, you name it. If you can put it on there, we sell it, because we have beanies, we have belts, we have a new line of underwear coming out That'll be out in January, so we're gonna do that. It's just a lot going on with the brand itself because the skate community recognizes it. They identify with it. A lot of people know my brand, know my logo that don't even know me because they know what it stands for. They know that consistently that this is what I do. I bring the pureness of what we do to light. And like I said, it has inspired so many others to branch out and do their thing, which I'm glad. I'm proud to be a person who started a trend. But also, you mentioned about other things. We also have another product, and that's what the show. We have two shows, or shall I say three? We have a daytime show where I deal with people daily, and we have a weekly show where we focus on the skaters. But we focus on the community of the skaters in the daytime show. That's a daily show where we talk about everything else but skating, because people have issues. We have professionals come on the show. We have politicians, chefs, authors, you name it, they come on and they share. We have psychologists, we have psychiatrists come on. They talk about what's going on, which can help some of our viewers, and musicians and the whole nine. And we're branching and expanding that part of the show as well. So we have a lot of products. If that answers your question.
How can people tune into the show?
So people can tune into the show by going to Instagram. We shoot the show daily, 4 p.m. Monday through Friday on Instagram. We go live Instagram. We also have a playback on YouTube. We probably will be going back to YouTube shooting live starting next year, but the information will be coming forward. You also can catch the playback on Facebook. But yeah, if you follow the pages, sometimes we'll drop skits, or I say small segments of of moments that's going to be placed on the show itself, because we don't start shooting that portion of the show again until next year. But the daily show, we pop in and out for 4 p.m. Sometimes we pop in at different times. It's good to follow because sometimes I may sporadically go because we may have an exclusive thing happen, because the skate world is just like the politician world or the political world or just the everyday world. There's breaking news in the skate community literally every day. So me being that person, the CNN of the skate world, when breaking news comes, that's why I also started a network called the Marcam Network, where we try to bring the news to you about what's going on in the skate community.
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Me and Jay was over here thinking, she has an announcement she wants to make, and I don't want to cut her time short.
Well, we're gonna come back to her after the break. She was gonna get her own situation after the break. Y'all doing too much over there. We're gonna let you talk about Jay. So yesterday, Jay did a thing. She had her first ballet recital. So after we come back from the break, we're gonna let her kinda talk about that a little bit. And it seems like that's the perfect lead into the break, apparently, because they have just let us in.
Segue.
And we're back. As always, we switching around a little bit. But we're gonna go right to it. So as I said yesterday, well first off, hi Jade. Uh-oh. How you doing today? So make sure you good here. Get that lint out your hair. All right. So Jade started ballet about maybe a month ago, maybe a month and a half. So right, she started ballet, and she had her first dance recital yesterday at Crossland High School. And I'm going to hand it off. So tell us about your experience, ma'am. First off, she danced to the Grinch. It's awesome, awesome situation. I tried to get up there myself, but they wouldn't let me. I was trying to go, but it wouldn't work.
Just like you to try to stop.
How did you enjoy the experience, Pooh?
It was good.
It was good. Can you tell us something? Something?
No.
No, that's all you give me is it was good. So we waited for this whole segment just so you tell me it was good.
Yeah.
That's it. No, you're not gonna sing the song enough when you're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. No, not gonna go with. Can you at least tell them how many people you have in your class? Do you know how many people you have in class? No. What's your teacher's name?
Miss Michaela.
Shout out to Miss Michaela, and what is it? 5768 Dance Studio. You guys do a great job. You ladies do a great job. Thank you for all the time and effort you put in with the kids. They actually. Oh, I'm sorry. Can I steal a little bit of your shine for a second?
Yeah.
Okay. So they have 90 plus girls in that studio, from ages ranging, I want to say it's maybe 2 and 3 to 16. And it was a 2-hour show with about, nephew, how many scenes was that? 16, 17? I mean, they were sharp though. And this wasn't even their big production, because their big production is in June. This was just a holiday recital to get the kids, kind of almost a preview of what's going on, a mid-season performance. And I mean, they did a great job. Kept it flowing. All the kids did their thing. Granted, I got to see practice Thursday, so seeing the actual finished product on Saturday was actually awesome, because you saw the kids on Thursday. They kind of struggle with certain things, which way to go out, which way to come in, to see it all come together. And it was pretty dope. So congratulations to you and your dance compadres. I don't know if that's the correct word for that, but good job.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, will you be appearing on Broadway anytime soon?
Yeah, for my sewing machine.
Oh, for your okay. So now you plugging yourself. So, first off, we're gonna So she wanted her own show situation, but that's 7-year-old. She's in a different bracket, so we'll talk about that off camera. You can't be just doing that on camera like that. Yeah, that was real smooth. I like that. Anyway,
Dancing with Jade.
because I know you want to talk about. Oh, and yeah, I'm not even gonna tell Mama.
That's the name of her show right there.
Yeah.
Stop.
Y'all pray for Mama, man. Y'all pray
Stop,
for Mama.
Jacob.
She good. She okay over here, but
Stop.
watch your step. The boys, we like to have a good time with it, so y'all was just talking about it anyway. But they was trying. Mama took a little tumble yesterday. She's okay. She's fine. She made it through. But they said she took a slow fall. It was.
Stop.
Pray for my family, please.
You wrong.
Hey, look. Hey, but we love you because you're here. You good. You solid. You safe, and we can joke about it. That's the only reason we play with it. But
I'm still here.
nevertheless, yeah, it was a good time yesterday. And then after that, shout out to Stan, bro,
Stan.
always. City Winery last night with Belladonna. Man, yeah, I don't know where to start, but
Yeah, they get busy.
yeah, right. I'm talking about
I ain't
They
seen
get
him.
in, they get at it.
I ain't seen him since I did that half note thing for my birthday.
Yeah.
Last time I
They
saw him.
gets at it immediately too. I mean, we walked in the door. Yeah, they don't, ain't no. They'll get you warm, go get your drink, and get ready. Nah, they get right to it. So shout out to Belladonna and City Winery as always. I learned last night that yes, huh?
Look.
Yeah,
Closing.
that location is closing. 'Cause they're moving to a new location, which they haven't found yet. But that location is closing, so I didn't know that they were closing their doors down there sometime in 2023. However, until they close their doors, y'all make sure y'all go out and support them because they have been a staple in the community and unbelievable venue. So they have, I believe, a full schedule in January and probably sometime in February. I would think they're probably closing. So y'all make sure y'all go support City Winery and go down there and see Bro, because Bro down there too. Stan is a little bit everywhere.
You were
But-
saying about City Winery. They were saying that because of the pandemic, that 2 years cut them because they hadn't been too long open up, and the finance caused them to be set back. So that's why they're talking about closing. So if we support them heavy enough, maybe that won't happen. You know,
Yeah,
that's what
well,
I'm-
they, without getting too deep into the business of it, they are, that's it. Pandemic hurt everybody,
Yeah.
but also some other things with that specific location, especially over the last probably 6 months to a year with a lot of violence in the area, specifically not necessarily violence, but people breaking into people's cars, people getting robbed, and it lose money. You know, you can't as far as numbers go. So finding another location, I believe, is probably on the docket for them. Nevertheless, still support them. You know, go out and support.
Yeah, that is kind of like a rough area though.
It is.
That they in.
Yeah. And for the
And they in the heart of the
and the
city.
type of events that they
Yeah.
throw, when you think about it, it don't match.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
and they in the
So,
heart of the city and no fees over
Yeah.
there.
So, is your time over? You want? Yeah. Listen, Jade is about. Normally we don't do this, but she's about to exit stage right. Go on. Your time's up. Yeah. So, stage right. Remember, like a performance. That's, okay. So you are going right. You just got down left. I got you. Later, bro. We'll holler. We appreciate you. But yeah. Huh? For sure. But yeah, that was pretty dope last night with Belladonna. And
Glad y'all had a ball.
yeah, man, it was a real grown and sexy vibe too. It was done by 10:30.
Oh damn!
It was 8 o'clock. They went on at 8:03. Matter of fact, I think the doors open at 6.
I didn't know that
right?
time. I could
Yeah.
have said though.
Yeah, they went on to 8:03. They was off the stage. They played a little longer than 2 hours, but they was off the stage by 10:20 something. We was out the door by 10:30 and home before 11.
You know, y'all older people need to get y'all rest now.
So no, it was a good party. Nice little table setting up in the dining area, City Winery. Definitely would say go check that out. I think they got something going on. I think the Mary J. Blige tribute. I think this week that would be a nice little thing to check out if you get a chance to go check it out. But yeah, so what's been going on with y'all this week? Not too much.
Trying to figure it out.
I wanted to talk a little bit to nephew, but he's not out here. Because last time we brought up the whole but you weren't here because you know the nephew's going to Omega. We're going to that's the same school Stan went to, engineering
really?
school. Yeah,
Congratulations, bro.
yeah. So that's a major thing that's happening. But also, this is probably our last show here in VMP for a while, if maybe period. We're going to take and do some different things in 2023. Try to get back to a formula that we're used to and bring back the live performance piece of ABX along with a few other things. So please, definitely, as we grow and move forward, make sure y'all stay tuned and stay connected. We will be off for a couple of weeks, but in 2023 we will be back and things will look a lot different, in great ways. So, yeah, y'all make sure y'all stay tuned to that. And if you follow the IG page, you'll see some previews coming super, super, super soon. So that's good things ahead, positive things ahead. That's it. I would like to kind of now get back to what we were talking about earlier. Now that we kind of went over that, as far as the violence piece, and what we do to deal with that, man. Go ahead.
It's kind of like a tricky situation because you got to think like you send your child to school to learn, to be better and make a life of themselves. Then you got to worry about all the negativity that's around the school system.
Why you making that face? I'm sorry, bro. Mom got that face on her like.
Cause I think it started in the home, man. These parents don't really know what their kids into, man. That's be the problem.
Well, that's real. You say you ain't no thinking that, bro. Like
that be the problem. They don't know what their kids into.
Go ahead, lady, cause you.
Yeah, I'm about to lose my breath over here. Me and Cece had a long conversation in the car about different generations and where they changed.
Wanna come over?
What happened?
Come on over.
Come on, boo.
Stop the live and come on over.
I asked her, I told
Stop.
her about my generation. We talked about her mother's generation. She talked about Uncle Jermaine's generation. She even talked about her brother's generation because she felt his generation is different. He's 24, she's 21. We talk about the violence and where she feels the violence come from and where it gets started. Where I feel it's coming from, because I'm in a different generation gap, I feel like you, Nutty, it comes from the parents first.
Yeah.
I feel within my range, we had young parents. I was a young parent, 18. But I think that what was presented towards, for them, for Jermaine and them, and what they saw and read made a difference, even though they had the gang type things and people were killing each other on the streets. But the school situation, and Cece broke it down to me, how they got started. And I'm going to let her finish it because it's more to where young people can understand what she's saying than I could. And I'm taking everything she said to heart. It's parents, and then after the parents, what part did you say it was, baby? When we were talking about where these kids at now and the killing each other on the fighting or internet, and you was breaking it down to me.
First off, hey CC, she was over there the whole time. Go ahead.
When we were talking about the violence and the fighting and stuff, and we was talking about generations, and you were trying to break it down.
Basically, we were saying how each generation is following another generation, but it just, we add our own spin to it, which has caused more.
Push your chair down. You look super high. It's on this side. There you go.
It just, like, okay. I'm trying to break it down, how I broke it down to my mom. When we was talking about Anthony's generation, we was like how their generation was following y'all generation. And then their generation put a spin on it to where it added more violence to it. And then with my generation, we just follow Anthony's generation, which just worsened the whole, it went more into violence and the fighting to where Anthony's generation was school rivalry. They introduced the school rivalry to us. But my generation, where we took it to the next level to where it's not about the games of who won and who lost. This is about people who had beef outside of school, but because y'all went to two separate schools, made the whole school beef.
Okay.
So, and I used the example of me going to Tech and the rivalry between Tech and Dunbar. Everybody knows the rivalry between Tech and Dunbar been going on for years. But because of my generation, we had times where it was a close game because after the games, it's where fights and stuff happened. People was getting hurt, and it wasn't because of the games, because of what was happening outside of school. And they brought their outside life to school, so where it got everybody involved in it, and you don't know what's going to happen. So it was just that of just generations, and then with my generation added on to social media, so it was Instagram, and now it's TikTok. So it's like now people is living up to that social media lifestyle and life to where it's like they don't. That's all they know. They don't really know that aspect of the college life really that much. And if they do, they stop at some period of time because they see others on social media making this certain amount of money, thinking they're gonna survive. So it's
Okay.
the aspects to it, yeah.
So I'll let y'all, because I got a lot I'm going to say.
Yeah, I mean, it has changed. I think we need the villages back though, you know, because back
That's a
then
must, yeah.
when we was coming up, it wasn't just the parents. Like it took everybody in the neighborhood and the community. Like I think like nowadays when you see somebody kid acting out in public, like their parents don't even really want you to try to correct them and say nothing to them. You know what I'm saying? Back then, you know, a person to come up to you now. You know, if your mother saying you out here acting like this, you know,
Exactly.
woo, woo, woo. Like you can't even really say nothing to a kid now today.
Well, that's true because the parents can't say anything to their own kids.
Yeah.
There's no way a child would disrespect me and roll his eyes or act like he don't want to hear what I got to say. I'm not a person to go around beating anybody, my children, but each one of them had an episode that they won't forget.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a brag or boast, and maybe I shouldn't have, but that carries on that they remember, don't try. And it's not don't try because I'm bad, it's because you're not going to be having somebody pay for you to sit in jail.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You're not going to go out here and hurt somebody else's child. But it's raising, like I said, now it takes a village to raise it. We came from a village.
Yeah.
So
And I just don't,
think-
like you said, I'm out without words now with what's going on in the world.
So I mean, I think the kind of just bring it back to what she was talking about was, or at least touching on that. A lot of things. Okay. First off, yeah, that's everything you said. That's probably the reality that y'all live with. But that's not the reality of life, right? So there's a few things that I need to. Well, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna say a few things that probably have to be broken down. And the first thing is, one, it's a big world. It's a really big world. And one of the things learned after leaving, getting out the city, and I guess a lot of stuff that goes on. So whereas you saying, like, your generation, his generation, like that's just your generation for this area. And what y'all kids in this city, y'all don't understand that point because I grew up with, like, we still joke about it, like DC versus Maryland versus Virginia. Oh, Maryland is Virginia. Like, being closed in a bubble is a bad thing. And we've put this thing around like, nah, DC, and you don't go nowhere to just put when all you know is that. Basically, it's like putting a bunch of ants in a jar, shaking it up, and then you take the jar away, and the ants still sitting there fighting because they think we got to expose ourselves to more. So that goes with the good and the bad because it's not a school thing. It's not even about neighborhoods. Really, the real gang culture came from actual unity and structure, which was the Black Panthers. So if you start talking about these kids need to know generations, this is where we did fail as a generation for you. This is the establishment of things that we should have made sure we taught our kids because we weren't taught it before. And we were the generation we are the generation of creation. We are the generation that whether anybody wants the fact that God our generation is the one that brought the internet to the forefront. Our generation changed music. Our generation changed fashion. So our generation is the one that really kind of ushered in this new way, but we didn't. We took too much of it, and we still are. Even in our 40s, we want to still have fun and party and parlay, and we missing the gap of time where we got to sacrifice. Okay, it's time to sacrifice and give back the things that we got to change it in a different way now. So whereas we weren't taught these things, which is unfair, and that's what a lot of my generation, we weren't taught these things, and well, nobody teaches us, so they'll be all right. That's not how we were supposed to do it. When we got it, we were supposed to take, okay, so, but they didn't give it to us, but now we going to give it to them. And then let's show them what innovation looks like. Let's show them this is the way. Not, I got to get it. I don't know what you're going to do. Because it's enough out here. We literally, our generation literally created, literally, music, fashion, entertainment. It's enough now out here for everybody can eat. So why are we still fighting? Especially in our communities. Because now we fight for something different. And it's the same analogy of putting ass in a jar. Like, it's not even, as much as they talk about the bag, it's not even about that. It's likes and follows and who said this, or, you know what I'm saying? I'm smoking on the ops pack. Like, it's all about illusion. And this is the mind part where it's saying, well, what do we do different? We have to take and realize that the structure has to be broken down, and that has to start with up here and stop focusing on everything else. And that's the problem. I listened to you, and I was just listening like, you're like, well, you know, his generation, that generation. Like, nope, that's not the problem. I listened to your grandmother. She's 74. Like, she talk about everything. No, that's not the problem. You just listening. You listening. And then you get to the point where you see where nothing that goes on in our community moves the dial in terms of laws and tax brackets, and no, it doesn't. So they don't care that kid was just stabbed and killed, shot, and shot, and it's just another number. So we should be focused on the fact that just like Ye said, they don't give a shit about black people. We should be focused on the fact that there's a greater problem outside of our community, so we got to come together within it.
Look at the stuff they do. They put out a whole little fake virtual world.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's a whole big world out here. They put a whole fake one out here for people to join.
Mm-hmm. Because the real world, they want you distracted. It's distraction. It's everything. The more we're distracted, the less we focusing on the things that were intended for us by the Creator, by God in general. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
And they just made it comfortable. You ain't even got to come out the house for nothing no more. All you got to do is stay in the middle world. You can buy whatever you want from it and get it delivered to your house.
Oh, that's what it was. Matter of fact, you said, I was trying to think about it. I'm looking at a commercial the other day. Matter of fact, with the boys, with Jacob. And commercial, the kid in the commercial, and it looked like he I guess outside shooting around. You know how we used to do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I don't know if you've seen this commercial. So it's commercials going on. It's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then at the end of the commercial, it flips over and it shows the kid playing a video game about to shoot the shot. And I'm like, damn, this went totally away from where I thought. Like, we used to do that in real life. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a whole commercial about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and him playing a video game. Like, that's how we got better. Like, you got to keep 5, 4, 3, 2, and like you on the, that's what you doing now. That's what we at. Yeah, it always went in too, for the record.
Except when he had to go on the free throw line, man.
Come on, man.
All right.
Okay, Jermaine, I hear you.
Go ahead. I'm
so
sorry.
what should we do?
I just told you. But go ahead.
Yeah, I know. What should we do? Because everybody, as a parent, I'm listening to you. I hear Dundee. All the parents, not everybody, but I'm listening to you say that circle, and I'm looking at the D.C. circle, and I'm listening to the Maryland circle, and I've seen people in Virginia. So it's our circle of adults and mothers and fathers who are not giving our kids in the district what they need. They're giving them, keeping them in a circle, in a ball, and not allowing them to breathe or see what's more potential for them. Or you're saying it's overall?
I'm honestly not sure what you asking me, so I don't want to answer the wrong thing, but I'm going to say this.
Okay.
As I'm watching you try to ask me whatever it is, I'm seeing you making like a circle shape. Mm-hmm. And if you asking what the problem is, that's it. Now, I don't know if you said keep it in a circle, but there is no circle. There is nothing constricting us. This is what I'm trying to say. It's mentally speaking, like, whether you want to talk mental, emotional, or spiritual. Spiritually, we start there first. God says, listen, he has plans to give us a future of hope and prosperity, so to speak. So God loves us. God wants us everything that kind of points, whether you a Muslim or you Catholic, it still points to God loving us people, whether you believe or not believe. You got breath in your body, that's a real thing, right? So if hope and faith and good and positive, the why, you say, well, why is the world, why do babies die? Okay, there's an evil, demonic aspect here. That's why the whole saying the devil is busy. There's a certain amount of power that's given there, right? But there is no constriction. There's nothing keeping us down as we believed. You know, yes, there's a government system in place, but that system is in place to distract you, not to keep you down. So the minute that you understand the difference is the minute that you start to say, okay, hold on, I got to go at this a different way. But in order to go at it a different way, it's going to take, everybody's going to have to understand this. And in our community, we don't get that point because nobody wants to. It's so many other pieces, and this is the point right here. You're saying, what can you do? It's so many other pieces to deal with where you want to, your mind is already distracted by 1,000 different things. You want to talk about COVID. I'm sorry, that might get us, I shouldn't even say the word. You want to talk about sickness, and you want to talk about who did what in the neighborhood. But it starts really with just how you deal with the condition of your heart and what you believe and understanding, okay, well, I'm probably 90% of my own worst problem because of the things that I'm not disciplining on myself. So let me just read a little bit more. Let me walk up the steps instead of catching the elevator. Just little simple things, right? And if you understand how it works, God gonna meet you where you are. You ain't gotta believe me. Just try it. It's the small things though. That's gonna get you out the way from keep asking making it complicated. Well, what do we? And if you BSing yourself, that's where you're gonna start because you can't build a big house with sticks. You need bricks. So you gotta.
I asked it that way because I thought about the jar when you said the ants was in there. Even after they took the top off, they still were right there. Like that's why I use that.
The ants. See the thing about that analogy, and you can really do this. Like if you put ants in a jar in a situation, and then you shake them up and you get them to fight. Specifically red ants, because I've scientifically proven. You can put them in a jar, you shake them up, you get them to fight, and then you dump them on the table. They're free. But what's going to happen, and you can look this up, you can go do it yourself, what's going to happen is they're going to stay right here in the spot, and they're going to fight and kill each other because now they're angry. They've been agitated, and they're not even worried. It's no longer even focused on the fact that you're free, and you can just leave this alone and walk away and be free. Now it's the anger. So what is, you know what I'm saying? And that's just, what is it? And if you look at where we are, when you talk about this, you put us in these environments. You make it hard for us to get resources. You take away in some cases, you're taking the father out of the household, so you have no protection.
Ain't no outlets for the youth.
Ain't no outlets for
them to do nothing.
Healthcare is porous. Up until the last 5 years, you had no mental health resources. And the thing that we rely on, I'm sorry, is religion and the pie in the sky to save us. That's what's been the thing in the community. And even that is poorly delivered because God is in all of us. So it's been completely a situation where it is what it is, and until we face that uncomfortable truth and that reality that we are our own worst enemy, then we're going to keep going down this road. So the answer to your question is just that, like, change you. I tell you that every day. Nettie, change you. Jermaine, change you. Change self. Like, Cece, change you. Because that's every day. And I don't mean like, oh, you got to change to be a different person. But you know what you need to do to be a better person. You know what I'm saying? How you need to set an example. Like, what you need to do to set an example for Jay. You even at 74, I tell you, what you still got kids. God gave you. So you still have to live your life in a way that's productive, in a way God says it's purposeful, because you ain't going to be here forever. So why is it we don't focus more on that? Why is it we don't focus more on putting the right things in? Because we know that our kids are going to get it out of us one way or the other. That's where our kids get the bad habits from. They don't start, they're not here because they asked to be here. They hear from us. So as much as we want to take all the good, well, when they get old enough and you see them bad habits, don't say, well, I did the best that I could. Well, you didn't, because you didn't even do the best you could for yourself to figure out how to break those bad habits so that they wouldn't pick them up. We joke about it. It's broke. Like that's why I love this. He don't care about that. He called him. He got a new alias. Even though we grew up in the whole thing where DC, DC, Mr. Brandywine, man. My man said, look, man, give my son a different. I pulled up on my man one day. He was in the front yard with the hose, standing there.
Hey.
Full family, man. And look, no, it's no teasing it, but that's where it's saying, look, it's different. I ain't trying to play no role for. I need my son to see this is what a man looks like. This is, man. Y'all can joke all you want. I got these dirty boots on. I'm out here putting these seeds down the water because my son gonna have to feed and show his family too. Like he ain't perfect, but he trying to start somewhere. If you start even in the simple places, he ain't never had that. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna do more what we see than what we say. To be honest with you, and it's really that simple. So.
You answered everything I asked you to do before. Where's the situation at, But people, like you said, we don't want to look at ourselves. Sometimes I don't, and you have to remind me. And I be so honest with you, you just don't. It's like we don't want to face reality. We don't want to admit where we were wrong at. We don't want to take that step to try to change because you don't want somebody to say we scared what you're going to say back to us. Some people are, and that's where we're at. But like you said, it has to be a change. Like Nutty said, he's changed. Well, Nutty, he talking about you changing. He ain't said I ain't cut no grass. I got boys, right? But I always say those girls make you do something you ain't expect. Christmas, he said, the grass is growing up high. I got nobody sitting about cut the grass.
I don't even know why you saying this on camera. People gonna think I'm cutting the grass.
Shorty was out there in that yard cutting grass. I wanted the video, but he might have been upset with me, sweating like I don't know what, cutting that grass so his daughter could have that stuff in that yard looking good. Yeah. But that's a parent. Yeah. Because we did things for our children that we should did because we didn't want to, and we did things we shouldn't have did in front of our children. So it's part of growing up. Yeah. Being a parent.
Because they watch.
As long as you're here, you get a chance to be a better parent.
Yeah. They watch you. They watch you.
Yeah. They definitely. See, we took the mic from you.
Well, no, actually, I was about to get back to the whole point. I was rounding it right on back because that's the way God works. Like everything you just said, or everything you asked, even with me answering that way, like I can come back to what she was saying, which I really was trying to get to in the first place. Like it's really not the beef. It's not any of that. It's really what should be happening. Go back to what he said. It all works out. It all comes back to parenting because nobody's asking the question, right? This is the question everybody should be asking. Why are these kids so angry? That's the one. Not who's beefing with who, or is it the school, or is it the neighborhood? Why are 80% of these kids so angry, aggressive, or depressed? Why is it more kids committing suicide or talking about it than it has been in years? Like that's not something that my generation did. So you can't put that on us. You can't put that maybe we didn't get attention up, but you can't. That ain't what. No. So why are these kids so stressed? Why are they so depressed? Why are they so angry? Yeah, you could blame it on the pandemic and but that was happening before this 2 years. This anger has been parents, low TLC, maybe low attention, maybe a little less on the chase and a little more on the kid. Just like maybe you got to feel. I can't speak for everybody because everybody's different, but you got to ask yourself. Well, not why these kids got to stop killing each other. Well,
I be wanting to know where they getting the weapons
from. That's the next part.
Like you 14,
why you
16
so angry,
years old.
Where you getting the gun?
And get them big ones too.
Yeah, like that's a recipe for disaster. You 14 years old. What?
And you angry already.
Yeah.
I see some looks in your eyes. What you got to say?
But no, that's the real right there, my dude. Like,
how do you feel, Cece, when it comes to anger? You want to scream sometimes. I'm just asking, but how do you feel? How do you feel about life itself?
I mean, I don't know fully, but now looking at it, like the mental health wise of it, people wasn't taking it more seriously when I was in school. Like when I was in high school, walking down the hallway, you could see a person just having a whole mental breakdown because we had assignments back to back to back, and being even if you was a senior, adding that onto it, having the pressure to just graduate high school, it was a lot. So of us not bringing more aware of it when I was in school, it was like, okay, pandemic happened. Now y'all want to do mental health, focusing on it more and stuff like that. I mean, it's at some point I was angry. I was like, is why are they getting more attention? Why they now bringing in more attention now and not helping us before? Um, but now I won't say I'm over it, but I came to adjust of it. Um, in which I'm kind of glad they did bring aware of it at the time. Only because of I have little cousins that's that's in high school or about to go to high school, so I don't want them to go through what I saw or what the almost the mental breakdowns I went through in high school. So it's like I don't really want them to go through that. So for them to have those kind of resources now in high school or in middle school, I'm like that's fine. I'd rather them to be safe and for me to just adjust in a way now in college, baby. Now in college, it's like I'd rather suffer than for them to be fine with it. For them to experience to it's okay to have mental health and not get bullied for it. I think I answered that right. I don't know.
I mean, you answered it right for you, right?
Yeah.
And listen to this when I say this, right? You answered it right for you because that's the only thing you know. And I would be curious to know, how does that make you feel? Not you, her.
Makes me sad.
Okay. Now,
We
so
talked about this when we
so
came
so
back.
so if I don't want to get into the top story thing. So the first thing is that that's all you. That's all you know, right? And even with the rest of these kids, when we saying that, when we talking about mental health starts with the person. But usually it's from the home. It's it's the foundation. We putting band-aids over wounds, literally, and that's impossible. The school can't fix that. Yes, the school can help it. It can support it, but it can't fix it. And the unfortunate part of what it is I'm trying to say is that in order to deal with the mental health thing, you got to be able to deal with the parent. You got to deal with the home. So what has to happen is you have to have, and this goes back to the psychology background. Like, and I don't know how this works. Like, you got to have a conversation with the parent because you got to build certain behaviors to be able to help cope with certain things. You got kids that suffer from anxiety, kids that suffer from ADHD. Like, there should be plans in place beyond just in school to help that kid learn how to build coping habits. The school is just trying to put a band-aid so they can deal with you here. But what happens when you're not at that school anymore and you got to adjust again? And what's happening is they just walking you on. They're not helping the kid. It's not really helping the kid if you're not giving the kid the tools to be able to learn how to build habits and stand on their own mentally. Same way we do physically. You don't walk a kid forever. You teach them how to walk and then they figure it out. It's the same thing. But as a parent, with the mental side of this, there has to be same thing. You got to walk through the steps. And the problem with that comes in is take some accountability and responsibility from the parental side and those issues and the trauma and et cetera. So the easier thing to do is send them somewhere else. School's problem. I don't know. I get them there every day. I make sure they got clothes. I make sure they eat. I don't know what's wrong with them. Talk to them. Don't talk at them. Don't say, tell me how you feel. Did I hurt your feelings? We got to learn how to actually articulate. We got to learn how to express in a way to understand it. Because I tell you the truth is not disrespectful. Truth is not disrespectful. Truth is maybe uncomfortable.
Yes.
But growth is uncomfortable. So if you want to go down that road, that's what we're talking about. So the mental health part of it, really, unfortunately, it's just yes, it's good that the schools have created that, and I commend, the schools and jobs and the workforce that's trying to now be politically correct and offer mental health services. But if we're honest here, like, man, it's bigger than that. It's so much bigger than that. It really starts at home. And if we're gonna be real honest, I think it starts in the mirror with most of us that have children, because we got our own mental traumas. And I know specifically sitting beside my brother here, we was just joking with parents like us, like most people with certain situations, and it's not funny, but we hear gunshots and we wouldn't jump hearing a gunshot because we grew up literally playing football around people run, like, so gunshots don't necessarily cause a reaction for us in the same way, and it's not good. It's almost desensitizing. Like, it's not a good thing, but it's one of them things where it's like you don't even realize how, you got childhood traumas that you don't even adjust. I mean, you don't even deal with or talk about, because it's just like what it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we all have things that we probably need to deal with so that we can adjust who we are to be better versions of ourselves for the people to come behind us. And unfortunately, that's just not something in our community specifically that we do. It can go on a bigger scale. We're talking about most people that look like us don't know anything about trust in the state. We just leave them a couple of dollars, leave them $56,000. Just get an insurance policy. That's okay. So you leaving them that, what they do with it? When you gone, what they do with it? Did you teach them how to be a woman, a man, how to love their family, how to eat, how to walk and talk? Like, what they doing with it? Where they going? You just fighting over some money then. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all that is. So we're not even establishing anything. So when we can start there, like, just. And everybody ain't gonna get this, but that's what we talk about. That's what, here we go. Cheap plug. That's what ABX is, and we understanding that point. There was a need for that. Like, Stan is good at certain stuff. I'm good at certain things. Not good at. So, what I ideally would like for this to do is exactly what it's doing. Like, okay, I know I don't know everything, but I know I want it, and God knows I'm trying to. I gotta be better. So, yeah, I'm glad I connected with Stan, and he opened my eyes to certain things as pertains to our identity and being Moors. And, even the CMOS in that aspect, and just sharing information back and forth, and as men being humble enough to say, you know what, it gotta be different. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what that looked like for us in the end, but it's gotta be different, because
I hear you.
don't want it to look the same. That's the key.
And I love what you're doing on the show by letting these young people talk. And like I said, that so happened me and Cece were having a conversation. And I was very honest with her, because you told me, Mom, you got to stop, dressing stuff up and putting a bandage over. Where I feel comfortable talking to her truthfully today, where I probably wouldn't be as comfortable talking to your sister the way I talk with Cece today. Because a lot of times as parents, we have did so much in our times that we wait for you to say, well, you didn't do this with me, and you get into your little shells and feel right down, well, I didn't do it. But it's never too late, like you said. Even though they're grown, they got children. Even if you tell them they don't do it, but I'm finding out a little bit more, Jermaine, that I can do more talking to Cece than I can your sister. Where that shouldn't be, I agree with you. I see your eyes there.
No, because I get that point, but the reality is this: you're correct. But where I started, and I said to you, I get that. But growth is uncomfortable. That's I get it. I totally get it.
But and I understand growth is uncomfortable, and I'm trying to get to this pet where even if I talk to her, or even if I talk to Mark, when I talk to you, because we can have some conversations sometimes, I'll shut down when he's talking, Nutty, because it gets right to a point where I'm feeling a little uncomfortable, and I feel that I let him down, or I let myself down first, because I have to let myself down in order to let him down. So I don't know what else to come back with, so I get in a freeze box, and that's okay. I'm going to leave it alone, because I can't fix this. I can't fix it, and I don't know which way to go to fix it. But
it'll just take time. It'll get to where you want it to be in time. You just gotta work on it.
That's
Keep
'cause-
working on it.
Yeah,
That's
because
it.
it's not a fix, and that's the thing I be trying to tell you. Like, it's not a thing where you're fixing it. It's a thing where you're growing. That's why I told you this. Even if we change, if we learn to change how the words, like sometimes it's that simple. Because if we understand the real enemy is not our brother or the person that you're looking at, it is a demonic spirit. It is Satan or whatever you believe in. It is evil, negative energy that's trying to keep you from getting to the best version of yourself. Because if you waste, the more time you waste getting to whatever it is your point, your purpose is, the more that particular energy wins the battle. So you saying like, okay, let's not try to fix something that we're not in control of in the first place. We're not God. God is in us all. The power we have is to be better people for one another. The power we have is to understand love and humility. The power we have is, okay, I'm not going to be here forever, but how do I change this person's life? How do I affect this person's life? And the best way to do that ain't to make it all about me. The best way to do that is to pour out, because the seeds you plant is what you harvest. Seed, faith, harvest. Seed, faith, harvest. So the more seeds you plant, the better chance you're going to live a purposeful life that's not in vain. So what can you do to do that, right? So how can we build upon that? How can we grow in that? Not try to fix the fact that it ain't growing over here in this area. I'm not gonna keep working on trying to fix that. I'm gonna keep, okay, you know what? It's not growing over here. Let me put some over here too. Let me put some over here. Let me put some over here. Let me put some over here. Because my intention here is pure. I'm just trying to create. I'm trying to make sure that my family eats forever. So I'm planting these seeds everywhere because I need this to grow. I need harvest one way or the other. And I know these seeds are coming from the right place. So whatever goes, I trust that God's gonna be good. It's gonna nurture the future. It's gonna nurture what comes next. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So stop trying to fix it and grow with it. Because growth is uncomfortable. And you'll understand at that point, it's gonna get dark before it gets light, but you'll start to see certain things a certain way within yourself, even when you can't necessarily physically say, well, you know what?
And I hear you.
It's light.
And
Because
you know,
everything is light and darkness, for the record.
I
Everything.
love all my kids, but I just want so much for your sister. And your brother just left. I can't even get and talk to him because he'll push me to the point where I'm angry. And I say your sister a lot because I really want the best for her. I want the best for all y'all. But see, I learned to take my hands off you a long time ago. And I tell you that you as a birth child. But I want so much for her. I want more for your brothers and them, but sometimes I can't, get myself to go that way because I find myself coming back angry. So when I say that, and I'm listening to you because I'm taking all this in, consider the conversation I had with my grandbaby. But, and I know everything's for a reason and a season, and this conversation is basically for me more so than Cece. So I appreciate it, and I do take this in, and I know I do have to plant better seeds, and I hope what I said to her.
Well, hold on. Because I'm going to say, because you just said that. Like, yeah, it probably is. If it's for you, feel it's for you, you're receiving it or it's for you. But we started the conversation based on, now you're talking about the violence, and Cece responding to it. So, now I just want to be clear, just in case anybody happen to,
Understand?
like, it started that way with us talking about the violence and where we can deal with that. And it really does start with the parents and then the grandparents
because
and
the parents have a lot of
great-grandparents.
violence that sometimes they
even-
shift over on their children.
Even the kids play a part in it too,
Yes.
though.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Absolutely.
They
if
shift that balance.
if they see something going down, they just gonna pull out their phone. Ain't nobody trying to be like, come on, man, what y'all doing?
I
Like,
want to hear it.
they ain't that. They don't even call for all that. Like, y'all tripping.
And that's
Like,
why they get the phones and go.
Yeah,
And like I said,
yeah.
I understand. As I get older, I don't shut myself down because I have age. I'm trying to keep my mind and my heart open and hear. Well, so we
Well, hold on, because I don't want to cut you off. But we got a few minutes left. Yeah,
Okay.
and I don't want to cut off on you while you're
good
talking.
evening. You had a wonderful evening. We will be talking about this in a new
But
spot.
yeah, but as always, we thank y'all. We thank y'all for rocking with us, no matter where we are, what we doing.
Yes.
And it is about time. We talking about growth. It's about time we grow. You know,
Yes,
we have been we've been cool with the organic process of pushing this platform and the brand and the vision, which was really about youth and mentoring and creating lanes for other people to be great.
Yes.
And God is putting us in a position now to where it's we're gonna be able to do that 10 times over in different ways and open things up a bit. So I don't know what that finished product is gonna look like, but I do know without a doubt that this time next year it will be a lot of other people in positions to do things that they wanted to do and follow their dreams and goals, including us. And that much I know. The opportunity's there. So shout out to UBM, Mr. B. Shout out to the gang. Shout out to Bro. We love and appreciate you. Stan Kales, you know what it is. Shout out to everybody, man. Doc, who connected the bridge, Reggie and Vox Wave, Miss Karen here, VMP. Man, I forget anybody. Justin, Pastor Spirit of Peace. Everybody, man, good, the bad, and the ugly. Like all my kids, all their mothers. Thank you all, because what happens next wouldn't happen good or bad without the journey, and that's real. Like we are the gifted, art, and driven, and y'all make sure y'all stay tapped in, tuned in, and linked. We're gonna do what we came to do. Y'all got anything else to say?
Rest in peace to DJ Twitch, man.
R.I.P. Shout out to the old dog Weave for coming and pulling up on mine.
Yes.
Shout out to Foo. Shout out to Porter. Welcome home, gang. Much love to y'all, man. I ain't had a chance. I did link with Porter when he came. I ain't had a chance to holler at you, Foo. So man, I love y'all, man. Big bros, homies, home team. Shout out to the home team. Everybody in the home team. Y'all know what it is. FLP. Love y'all. Like I said, the little girl crazy. Rest in peace, bruh. I ain't shouted you out in a minute. Yeah, man. Shout out to the family. Tink, Sean, Cuz, everybody. I don't know anybody I forgot, sis. I love y'all. Y'all make sure y'all see us on the other side. We clear and we out. Happy holidays,
to
Merry
everybody.
Christmas, Happy New Year. Matter of fact, yeah, because we won't see y'all till after the New Year. So happy 2023. Happy New Year. Party it up, but don't party too hard. Please be safe. And yeah, we'll see y'all on the other side in January. Much love.